Would you please remain standing for the reading of the gospel this morning? Our gospel lesson this morning comes to us from the Gospel of Matthew 21, 33 through 43. There was a householder who planted a vineyard and set a hedge around it and dug a wine press in it and built a tower and let it out to tenants and went into another country. When the season of fruit drew near, the householder sent servants to the tenants to get the fruit. And the tenants took the servants and beat one, killed another, and stoned another. Again, the householder sent other servants, more than the first, and they did the same to them. Afterward, the householder sent the heir to them, the one who would inherit the vineyard, saying, "They will respect my heir, my very own child." But when the tenants saw the owner's child, they said to themselves, "This is the heir. Come, let us kill this one too, and have the inheritance." And they took and cast the heir out of the vineyard and killed the heir. When therefore the owner of the vineyard comes, what will be done to those tenants? Those hearing the parable said to Jesus, "The owner will put those wretches to a miserable death and let out the vineyard to other tenants who will give the owner the fruit in their seasons." And Jesus said to them, "Have you never read the Scriptures? The very stone which the builders rejected has become the head of the corner. This was the sovereign's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Therefore I tell you, the realm of God will be taken away from you and given to a nation producing the fruits of it." May God add understanding to the reading of His gospel. Please be seated. David follows the lectionary in advance every week and reads the Gospels and the first and second lessons of the week. And there are times when he has said to me, "I can't wait to see what you're going to do with that one." I'm sure he's probably thinking that as well. God, I thank you for the opportunity to be here. I ask that you remove me from myself, remove fears, concerns, and anxieties, and replace that with the movement of your Spirit. And I ask, God, that you reach out and touch the ears of the people who are going to hear these words today, that you also remove fears, concerns, and anxieties for them, so that they will find the truth that they need this day. Amen. No more. There are times that a pastor struggles for the correct sermon using the text for the scriptures of the day. Most of the time, this is something I strongly adhere to. I find it very important for us to walk through the year studying Scripture and trying to relate it to our daily walk. Sometimes as pastors, we tend to use the Scriptures as a cloak, cloaking ourselves and protecting ourselves and our congregations from having to be a part of the discourse of our society. I feel today that I must not hide behind the safety and sanctimoniousness of the Scriptures, and today speak publicly about things that I've seen this week. Sometimes you get so much in your head because you see and hear so much that you think, where is my God? Where is the divine guidance in all of this? It's there. Over the past couple of weeks, and especially this past week, a new social media movement has become very strong. the Me Too project. People stepping forward and proclaiming that they also have been victims of abuse, assault, and sexual intimidation. Stepping forward to stand in solidarity with the strong women who have been coming forward to denounce the sexual predator, Harvey Weinstein. As of yesterday evening, 58 women have come forward with such allegations. A person that for decades has made and broken careers and dreams of both women and men. A person that we as a society have celebrated for his talents and skills to produce great movies and bring us great actors. And because of all of that, it was okay. This man has used his power and authority for years to abuse and hurt people all along his way. We must stand now and say, no more. If one has courage, nothing can dim the light which shines within. A medical doctor this week, a doctor for the United States girls gymnastics team, is awaiting judgment for sexually assaulting 100 young females as they tried to follow their dreams and pursue their goals. This has gone on for years. And we said, okay. We just let it happen because we kept silent. We must stand and say no more. If one has courage, nothing can dim the light which shines within. The Department of Homeland Security, the Division of Refugee Resettlement, is holding a 17-year-old young woman in Texas, preventing her from seeing a physician or even an attorney. She is seeking an abortion due to sex acts that she did not consent to. And all of this is being done in the name of God because the person in charge of this division is one who claims that abortion is immoral, attempting to make this woman reach the 20-week period in her pregnancy so that then it's illegal in the state of Texas for her to even think about an abortion. And it's okay because we say nothing. We must stand and say no more. If one has courage, nothing can dim the light which shines within. A university in Ohio, Tuesday, opened their very first LGBT center. And on that very same day, in the main housing unit of the campus, protesters were placing plaques and signs which read, "Follow the faggots," then giving statistics of how many trans and gay people have attempted suicide. For years, we have been quiet about it. The university said to the students who complained about the posters that this is an act of free speech and they have the right to place them there, and we will keep them there. We must stand up and say no more. If one has courage, nothing can dim the light within. The Vice President of the United States this week says it is not good or profitable to hire gay people. He is encouraging all companies to adopt the same policy. And for years we have stayed silent because we didn't want to rock the boat. We didn't want to be found out. Good Lord, people, look around us. Everybody knows we're flaming queens or old dykes. But we can't stay silent anymore. We must stand and say no more. If just one has courage, nothing can dim the light which shines within. A Georgia State Representative, Betty Price, the wife of the former Secretary of Department of Health, states publicly that the only good person with HIV is a dead person. She states that in the beginning of the pandemic, it was not so bad because HIV-positive people were dying quickly. Now it is bad. They're living longer, which means we have a larger pool of sick and infected people. They need to die. No more. We must stand and say, no more. If one has courage, nothing can dim the light which shines within. I never thought I would quote the former President George W. Bush. However, he said in a speech this week on Thursday that bigotry has been emboldened. And we must remember that those who support white supremacy must know that goes against the very creed of the foundation of the United States. We must stand up and say no more. If one has courage, nothing can dim the light which shines within. To offer you a scriptural reference to this, I would like to remind you that it is in the gospel that Jesus says, "Whatever you have done for the least of these, you have also done for me." You must take the other side of that too. Whatever you have done to the least of these, you have done to me. We must be the one that when we see something that is just not right, we say something then and there. We can no longer go on about our business and just wait till we are in a group of our peers and equals and tell the story of the pain and the injustice. Let us truly at this moment become our sisters and our brothers' keepers, holding them near and dear to us. We are called to help end the evil that is all around us. We must stand and say, no more. If one has courage, nothing can dim the light which shines within. This phrase that I've used over and over today for this sermon, if one has courage, nothing can dim the light which shines within, is a quote from Maya Angelou's book, A Rainbow in the Clouds. This week, the Angelo Johnson family shared a post for all. Each one of us has lived through some devastation, some loneliness, some weather superstorm or spiritual superstorm. When we look at each other, we must say, I understand. I understand how you feel because I have been there myself. We must support each other and empathize with each other because each of us is more alike than we are unalike. And they attribute that to Maya Angelou. Sometimes, as a Christian people, we need to look at the gifts that Christ has given us that may be finding inspiration in the readings and the writings of some other author. Maya Angelou, Reverend Jane Beach. It may be in the writings of people that God gave them the gifts and the talents to write meditations of their hearts and what's on their spirit so that we can grow. The Bible is not the only good word. The Bible is a collection of books put together by a bunch of men sitting in a dark room who cherry-picked and said, yeah, I liked Thomas. Put him in there. Yeah, Matthew was kind of cool. Put him in there. Revelations, oh, I remember that drug trip. That in there. There are other spiritual gifts and other spiritual leaders and writers. There are people who are being crucified daily. The woman who's afraid to go to work and ask her boss for a raise because she feels inferior stand up and speak for her. I watched a special about the Me Too project this week, where Claire McCaskill, a senator from Missouri, spoke out. She said that as a very young state representative, she went before the Speaker of the House of the state of Missouri, and she said, I have this bill. How do I shepherd it through to get it approved? He looked at her and said, did you bring your knee pads?
Mm-hmm.
We have to stand up and say, no more. No more. We have to cherish each and every person. For each and every person is the light of Christ. And we should never dim that light that's within them.